All right, so the first step is I'm gonna take this piece of fondant that I printed, and I'm gonna tape it to this little mat right here, and we're gonna run through this machine, and it is gonna cut it out. So to print the fondant, what I'll do is I'll use a printer, something like what you see here. So here I'm using my XP200 Epson, and instead of using regular inkjet, I actually use these from Copy Cake. So these are edible food cartridges. You may have heard me talk about these. And edible paper. So you'll see this is a bag of edible paper from Inkables, and I find that they're pretty good. These ones, when I go to cut them after, it doesn't like rip apart. So I think these are higher quality, but there are other companies out there that make fondant paper, and all it is, you'll see, I'll pull one out here. And all this is a piece of fondant, like a little piece of paper. And you can see it's got a backing on it. So we'll print on this, we'll cut it out, and then we'll put it on the cake. All right, so I am back. So you can see I have this taped to our mat that's been used, so I just tape it to the mat. And I'm gonna load this into my machine. We're gonna cut this out. And in case you're wondering, it's an image of Flash. It's for a Flash cake. So we're just gonna line this up. This will just take a sec. And once I have it all lined up, I'm gonna hit load cut mat. This is gonna load this. And then what I wanna do is I'm gonna go over here. And we're gonna send this to the printer. Sometimes I may have to manually find the edges, but we'll see how it does. Yep, today it's doing really well. And that's all I do. And as you can see, that's what it looks like when it's cutting out. I've gotten this question quite a bit, like what does it look like? And usually what will happen is this will cut out, and then I'll use an X-Acto knife to cut it out when I'm done, and then it's just a matter of putting it on the cake. I do like to check it occasionally, make sure it's actually doing what it's supposed to. This time it actually looks like it's going pretty well, so I think we're good. Sometimes with fresh fondant, it does get jammed up sometimes too, gunked up. And this machine I'm using is actually called a Silhouette, a Cameo Silhouette. And now it's just a matter of picking off the excess. So you can see it did a really good job. It cut this out. I'll unload it. And now it's just a matter of finding a spot where we can then cut into this. Just like so. And now we can pull our image apart. It does take a little bit of time. I'm probably making it look a little easy. I've done this quite a few times. Quite Hi! Alright, so now what we're gonna do some finishing touches in this cake. So this is my little cake. This is gonna be for tomorrow's for birthday. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish. I'll put a little bit more frosting over the top of this thing. First, this is before we put our picture on. I want to use fresh frosting because if you don't, then the picture doesn't always want to stick. So it's always good to do fresh. Get it as smooth as possible, just like this. So you can see I'm getting it nice and smooth. I'm gonna make it a little bit better, but I'm gonna take this little tool out here. All right. Now that that was close. Now that that's done, I'm gonna take my image that we just cut out and we're gonna transfer it over. Hopefully do this without breaking it. Okay. So I'm gonna try to get it as center as I possibly can. But I still might add some text. I'm gonna get it stuck to the fond or to the frosting as much as I can. Try to tap it in there. You want it to stick now because that'll prevent it from popping up later. Hopefully. So I do have issues with it sometimes. So I'll try to get it touching as much of the frosting as possible. So you can see here it's a little spot here it's popped up. So I'm just pushing in. Now my little trick that I like to use here is I use parchment paper over the top. And I'll lay this right over the top of the cake. And I'm going to press him in there. And what I'm using now is Roly Poly from Evil Cake Genius. Or I call it Roly Poly. I'm just gonna roll it in there. It gets the air bubbles out. And I'm gonna have to leave this on here, let it get cold, otherwise it's gonna pull the frosting with it. So I'm gonna let it get cold. I almost messed up. You guys almost saw a fail right there. So I'm just gonna keep on smoothing him out just a little bit. There are some wrinkles, but this will come out. All right, guys, the last step here. So at this point, we've gotten the image on. I've got it all rounded off pretty much with my little tool. Now I'm gonna do the border. So I'm gonna start on the top. And I'm using this nice bright color, nice bright yellow because this is splash. So here we go. So you guys can see my piping here. How are we gonna do this? And then flip it. John Boy, you and Johnny, I'm sorry, I wish you guys were closer. I'd make you guys on, I promise. One of these days. The UPS doesn't like me to ship it. food's pretty hard to do, I think. And we're gonna do this side here. You can see that border really makes it stand out. And I'm gonna do the bottom, same way. That turntable really comes in handy. Professional. I've done this a few times. And last one. I think I have just enough frosting today. Alright, and that is how we do that, and that is our flash cake. Still might write something over here, we're not sure yet, but that's it. That is how we do it.